Hi, I'm Rowan.
And hi, I'm Zach.
And this is the very 30-second episode of In the Zone. Today we'll be discussing the episode of Passage For Trumpet. Wow, what a memorable episode. So we start where Joey Crown is, well, we don't know his name. This guy is standing outside of this, club, and he sees this shadow of a guy playing the trumpet inside the club with the band. And he's standing out there getting ready to play. He's wearing, his tie and suit and stuff. And his name's Joey Crown, we learned from the intro. There is a sign in the background that says, "Give blood now." What episode is it from?
Have I seen it?
Yeah.
God, let me think. Where is everybody?
The reason
one for the angels.
The reason I recognize it is because I've seen the clip that it's in many times before because I enjoy rewatching it.
Ooh, was it a good scene? It was Forbes and Gart disappear, and When the Sky Was Open.
It was execution, the scene where he busts out of the phone booth. You can see the sign that says "Give blood."
Okay.
So then when the guy in the club is finishing up, Joey gets out his trumpet, and then the guy comes out, and they talk, they're kind of friends. He's like, "I brought my trumpet, and I thought you might need someone to play," and he's like, "No,
and
last time you messed it up big time."
They overuse the word horn so much in this scene. They can say trumpet, but...
They say bugle at some point.
Yeah, they're overdoing the musician slang,
At one point, they said flugelhorn. I was like, what? What? Just kidding, that's a lie, but I wish they did. So the guy who is just in the place, I don't know if it ever says, on Wikipedia it says his name is Baron. Anyways.
Oh, it did say Baron, I heard, yeah.
Really?
Yeah,
all right,
he said Baron something.
Alright, so Baron
has a great mustache.
He says that I won't let you play because you were drunk last time. But the guy says that he's sober now, and
he doesn't even remember what the stuff tastes like.
But then while he's saying this, a bottle falls out of his coat and breaks.
Bad timing.
Bad timing, but good timing for us, am I right?
It was actually a really good glass break.
It was a really good one.
Because it shattered, but the label kind of held it together.
So then the guy, Baron, is telling Joey Crown about Joey Crown's life, how he was good, but then he was drunk, and now he's just... Well, he's not famous anymore and stuff.
This is a really bad scene.
What?
This scene is so boring. It's not even
Well,
funny.
maybe it's boring, but I really love it. The dialogue is so natural.
Yeah, but they just had
and the acting is good.
Well, the dialogue was natural until he went out with a 4-minute monologue. "Oh, beauty, beauty, the spring of flowers, they spring from my trumpet bell."
But it felt super realistic because the guy who plays Joey Crown is good.
Really?
Yeah.
A lot of his lines weren't, though.
Well, I'm sorry for his lines then.
No, it was like the dude who was the harmonica man. You just can't salvage that line. What a...
But this guy totally did.
Yeah.
So Joey Crown's monologue is that he drinks because he's sad and that he's nothing and that he's gonna die in a crummy hotel room.
Yeah. Where you see the pipes, but when I drink, I am Gabriel. Gabriel. Gabriel.
With a golden horn.
Yeah. Oh, God. And then he tries to...
Gabriel, Gabriel, blow, Gabriel, blow, Gabriel, blow, blow, Gabriel, blow, 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 blow that horn, blow that horn, blow, blow, blow. Alright, so I was planning to do that for this episode.
Okay.
A little joke.
That was a really awkward monologue.
It's a song.
I don't know, just what do you do when you have to do that?
He does it so well.
I just felt bad for him.
I didn't feel bad because it wasn't like he was embarrassing himself because, first of all, the monologue was not bad.
I mean, that's harder than being the old man in elegy who had to keep smiling and ignore people and not blink. No, there was the great man in elegy, the fishing man, who got shoved over.
Oh yeah,
but
good for him.
smiling.
Best performance by an actor. Then he says, when he's drunk, it sounds good, almost like Gabriel with the golden horn. But. And then he plays his trumpet. After he stops playing, we hear some really good jazz music for the soundtrack. It's not part of the plot, but it's a lot better than what he was playing.
Yeah.
But I guess kind of the point that he's alright, but he's close to really good. He goes to the pawn shop, and the guy's like, "Ha! Back again, you loser!" And so,
least likable character. Least likable character.
Well, he's
least likable character.
He's unlikable in a subtle way. He's like, "Back again." The guy offers him $8.50, and he's mad, but then he accepts it.
Yeah, that was a little bit weird. No, I will not do it for $8.50. Okay, fine, I'll do it for $8.50.
So then we see him exiting the bar, and he does this funny little thing where a lady walks by, and he goes, he's a little drunk about.
Yeah, he's good at being drunk.
Yes, he is.
You could totally imagine. Oh my god, that would be like the most entertainingly bad Twilight Zone episode.
What?
Like some guy has to be drunk and fails completely. Has that ever happened?
Oh, probably. Oh. Yes, definitely.
Episode?
Oh boy. Season 5, episode 32, Mr. Garrity in the Grave.
You spend too much time watching that show.
Well, I like it sometimes. So then he goes back. He looks at the pawn shop, which is next to the bar, and he sees, oh no, it's $25 instead of $8.50. The guy's like, well, you're a loser.
The glass is clear, which actually was a little bit confusing.
Wow, so have you never seen clear glass before?
No, but it was like really clear, and like I actually didn't notice that it was there for a little bit.
Oh, and then he was like, then he walks over to like one of those crossing, the things that you press to make it go.
Oh yeah, and then he like
and he leaves up against one of those. He's like, I have no responsibilities. Then he comes in front of a truck.
And we see.
Well, before that, we see a truck driver go, whoa! And then we see a woman scream,
oh my god.
We fade and he's getting up and it's nighttime and he tries to talk to a police officer who ignores him. And this was obvious right away to me, he's dead.
It was not obvious right away to me. I don't know, what did I think? Oh, I thought the police officer, I thought he had traveled back in time because we had a whole lighting change. Mm-hmm. And the police officer had his like whole hat and he was talking to the police officer, Dr. Not Dr. Flaherty. We had a teacher called Dr. Flaherty. Officer Flaherty. And then the police officer just gives him a funny look and walks away. That's what I thought went on.
That didn't make any sense. More people ignore him, goes to the mirror, and he doesn't have a reflection. He says, well, maybe it's a gag.
It actually took me a while to notice that he had no reflection.
And then he's like, I'm dead. And he says, that was the first time I was ever successful. Then he's at the bar, and the bartenders ignore him. He pours himself a drink, and he doesn't notice.
Yeah, here's the deal. The bartender.
If this guy comedy episode would be like, whoa, and he sees the bottle float, there are some episodes like that where it's like, I think the next episode actually is. That's what happens in the next episode. There's a bottle floating. Wait. I don't want to spoil it.
We're gonna watch
something like that.
Now. Okay, but pretty much the bartender keeps looking and he's trying so hard not to look at it. So like he keeps looking at this one spot. It's like. And then he goes over and he like lays down on this machine. And we see his reflection. I mean, what is this?
Okay.
They're not even trying. But how hard would it have been to just smash his head against the machine and then...
So then he said that he knew old Charlie, the bartender, and that was the name of the bartender in Mr. Denton on Doomsday.
Was it?
Yeah. And he's talking about how he once bought his record when he was in the Tommy Dorsey Orchestra, and how he had a solo on. He's like, oh, good old Charlie. He is back at that trumpet place where he was before the trumpet club. He could just go inside and like mess with the drums or something, but he decides not to.
Oh yeah, that would have been
different episode. But then he hears a trumpet, like outside the place. So he walks around and he finds no.
Now we get this just like it takes like. It's a full minute, him like walking towards the sound, and we get like bad music. And then we see none other but Abraham Lincoln,
U.S. President Abraham Lincoln himself. He is like, hey, not too bad. The guy's like, thanks. You want to play, Joey? And he's like, wait, you said my name and you acknowledged me. And he's I know about you.
I just don't know how he makes those lines sound like someone would ever say them.
But he is really. He makes them sound good. And then he's like, I thought I was a ghost. And he's like, nope. He's like, I know you play a nice trumpet. And I'm an expert on the trumpet. And then Joey plays. He's like, how come you know me? And he says, I'm not dead. Neither are you. And all the people are dead, but they don't want to scare them, so they make it seem like they're in real life.
That just made really no sense.
It has a ton of flaws.
Oh my god.
So dumb.
Here's the deal.
So it's like
if I can compare this,
so like he didn't notice that everyone is like people he've never seen.
If I can compare this to one episode, I'm gonna compare this to Nightmare as a Child. So many missed opportunities. This could have been good, but it was just mediocre.
How could it have been good?
I don't know. Well, first you could have cut out like the whole. Well, first of all, you could have cut out like 4 minutes of him walking and playing the trumpet.
And this episode is not good at being an episode. They don't even need that thing about them being dead. It's just dumb, doesn't make sense, raises questions.
Yeah, I don't know. He could have just like fallen off the curb and met Gabriel right there and skipped a whole scene and a lot of crappy special effects.
So then the guy says, right now you're neither here nor there. Which would you prefer? And then Joey has this speech that was triggered by nothing that he did during the scene where he was walking around. Nothing, because in the scene he's like, oh, I never realized how great my life really was. But it's like, it's going to be like the movie It's a Wonderful Life. Have you seen it? Alright, so a guy, he kills himself, but then he imagines he imagines he was never born, and then he realized how great he never was because everyone's life is horrible without him. But in this one, he doesn't even, nothing is different. If you'd make it, he's like, he never stopped to say like, oh boy, do I miss that. He's just walking around and he's like, well, this is fun. And then he's like, man, I've never realized how great my life really was. Oh boy, all the people I've talked, it's like, no. Then, he's like, yep, I want to live. Then, wah! We see the woman screaming.
I love that.
And then he's back dead, or not dead. He's
well,
alive
actually,
on
he's
the
looking
curb.
at his reflection.
Right.
And then he sees...
And then it turns into his reflection of him lying there on the curb. And so then the truck driver comes and he's like, hey, don't tell anyone about this, okay? So he bribes him, gives him $25, enough to buy back the trumpet. He buys it back. What a waste of money. So then, because he lost.
Sold it for $8.
so then he's playing on a familiar rooftop. It's the rooftop from Big Fella,
which was a great scene, far better than this one.
So then he's playing, and then this woman appears behind him, and she says, my name's Nan, I'm new around here, you play trumpet real swell.
And she's pretty much Tina the Third.
And
except that she's like Southern Tina the Third.
And so she says,
it's awkward.
And he's like, it's not a bad town. She says, maybe you could show me some of it. And then he gets excited. He's like, oh, look at all these streets. And then it's
I can show you 50 Seconds Avenue.
It's the end. What do you think?
I'm just going to say right now, this is the most mediocre thing I have ever seen.
I would put it at worse than mediocre. Do you want to give it a rating?
Yep, I'll give a rating.
Yeah, let's just stop talking about this one.
Yeah, 5.
5.
This is just flat out, like... If this episode was a color, it would be beige.
One of the worst episodes I've seen.
Really?
This season. So I gave Elegy a 3.5. That one was not good.
I gave Third from the Sun a 3.5.
This one, it had some cool stuff. Or I mean, Elegy did, because they were walking around, but then there was so much bad stuff. Oh,
do you think this is not as good as Elegy?
I think the problems are equally as bad. I think the acting or the good things are, you know what? 3.5. It's all good.
And we have reversed the roles from Third from the Sun on a Passage for Trumpet.
Heyo.
Let's draw some strange connection to this.
Okay, so in Third from the Sun, there is a man. This one also
There's
has
also
a man. And in Third from the Sun, you know what? I thought about Third from the Sun during this episode. Do you want to know why?
Why?
Because the guy sitting at the bar looked like Carling, kind of.
Yes! Oh my god, you are so right!
Cheers!
This concludes business on the 32nd episode.
Next week we'll be talking about Mr. Beavis. We'll see you then.